Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. The energy of this meeting can be whatever you want it to be. Depends upon your state of mind. I've said it before, dear one, I know who's here, I know who you are. And I ask, why did you come? Was it social or was there more? Now, this particular channeling will be filled with information, as it always is. But there is also something else that we offer. We're coming to a close of your calendar year 2014. It's normally a time for reflection. And in this particular room, the energy that we wish to generate with the entourage around you is congratulations. I want you to sit and bask in honor. And in these next moments, I would like you to try to disengage from what you're going to do next. To try to disengage from the issues and the problems that you came with. If you've got pain in your body, disengage. If you've got pain in your heart, disengage. Not for long. Corporally, we understand fully that you are what you are and you must go through what you go through. But you have the power to disengage it for a while. Let these be one of those moments, these times. No matter what the message is to follow and whatever is said, there is another energy which pervades the room. It sits and hovers over you, looks at you, remembers you, thankful for you, knows you. And so even as we begin the information, we ask that the multiplicity of the messages that are going out be felt and understood and enjoyed to their fullest for these few moments. 25 years ago, I came in with a message that became a slogan, as you would say. It says, you're never alone. You have no idea what that really means. You are built to feel alone. One consciousness, one body, surrounded by 1 billion angels. And they are beyond your reach in 3D, but they are there. They're not there to judge, not even to watch. They simply are, because of who you are. If you were here, dear ones, this is a review for the next moment or two. If you're listening to this and you are not in this meeting, we need to present something. And we're going to start with a premise. There are some scientists and researchers who believe that the human brain contains everything it ever could. That is to say that there is genius, intelligence, manifestation over physics, mastery in every single human being locked away. And that somehow, depending upon the chemistry and the energy that is multidimensional in every human brain, somehow there is a posturing of energy so that it It's locked out. And that perhaps, just perhaps, that certain energies will come along and unlock it. This is a theory. Now that opposes the other theory that the human brain is what it is and gets added unto with processes that you don't know about in evolution to come. And that you are no smarter than its ability to be smart. There's nothing in there beyond what you see. Of those two theories, I will tell you the former one is the accurate one. Sometimes it comes out in odd ways, dear ones, and you see it, and you don't know what to make of it. A brain injury will cause an Akashic remembrance to be triggered, and an artist will spring up, and they were never an artist before. Sometimes something will happen. A hit on the head, a blow perhaps, it will create a genius where there was none before. These are the small evidences you have that perhaps the former theory is absolutely true. That inside you is everything waiting to come out. You take a look at spontaneous remission and you think it's a miracle. How could the body possibly cure itself of some of the worst situations and imbalances and disease known to mankind overnight? And yet it happens repeatedly. So you come into the area of what we've been teaching is spiritual logic. Take a look. Take a look at what I've said. The energy that is on this planet is what has locked your DNA at approximately 34%. With the master walking on the planet being at 90 and living hundreds of years, you're in the 30s. And we have said that over and over and over. That is the premise at which we begin. Now for some physics. And I'll call this spiritual physics, so it's not too complicated. 1993. We gave you a book called The End Times. And we made some statements. We talked about the magnetic grid of the earth. We said it had to be there for human life, and it does. Science now agrees. We went on to give you the esoterics of it, what my partner calls the woo-woo part. That in your DNA, a multi-dimensional molecule is everything that the universe knows. It carries your Akashic record, all of your lifetimes, all of your spiritual purpose, your being, your karma, everything is in your DNA. This will never be proven. We also told you that the magnetic grid of the earth, literally that energy that is multidimensional that you sit in, transfers energy to your DNA. So the grid then becomes the energy transfer system. That should have cued something to those who are paying attention. For if the grid changes, dear ones, you do. I told you the grid would change more in 10 years than it had in 100. It did. You can measure it with a compass between 93, or even 89 if you wish, and 2002. More progress did it have then than any other time in human history that's ever been measured. We said this would be, and it is. Those paying attention should have known something was happening. I said in that transmission to you back then that you would have no Armageddon, and you did not. There would be no World War III. There wasn't. We told you there was a potential for human beings to pass the marker and start a new energy on the planet and peace on earth. This is where you sit today. All of those years ago, this is where you sit today. Listening to this message of what might be next. So I'll label the channel right now, the energy of the future. Last week I gave you a channeling that was what is next. I talked about the next 3 years. This talks about the energy which is going to be manifested in that amount of time and beyond. Some of the changes and why they are taking place. You may want to listen to this channel a number of times to put it together. So what have we established? Number one, locked into the human brain is brilliance and mastery, working at approximately 34%. Number two, the magnetic grid of the planet postures everything to do with your DNA. It also picks up the energy of human nature, what you want, what you have created. And this is what we will call the lock on DNA. When your human consciousness and spiritual maturity starts to move, your DNA starts to change. It unlocks certain parts that have been locked. The parts that I just told you about that you've seen and you don't understand. Now let's go this step further. The last 2 years we have told you about the nodes and the nulls, the time capsules of the planet opening. We told you who put them there. That the creative source itself is responsible, and that they sat there for over 100,000 years waiting to be opened if you would pass the marker, and you did. And they are opening. Slowly we have matched up the pairs all over the planet of the places where they are and the energies they create. They're beginning to open. What do? I'll tell you. They pour out information on to the magnetic, crystalline, and Gaia grids of this planet. The 3 active intrapersonal grids of this planet. The ones that interface with you and your consciousness. That's where the information goes. Isn't it interesting? Not into your consciousness, but into the grid. Now this allows for free choice. For it's not put upon the planet, it is put upon the grid. With free choice, any human can ignore anything I'm saying, walk out of this room and say, he's a fraud, this is ridiculous, it's stupid. And sitting next to them will be somebody this day who will be healed. That's the difference. Free choice. To accept or reject things that resound or do not resound to your consciousness. Now for the review. If you could see multidimensional energies and you had the ability to stand back and watch your solar system as it raced around the middle of the galaxy, you could see a ribbon of energy that you are currently intersecting. This solar system, you might say, has been in a bubble. The bubble is of energy. It is an astronomical measurement. It is known by science. It is seen, has its name. As the bubble dissipates and you move into a new area of space, this ribbon of energy that you are now intersecting is different. In fact, it represents high energy. Some would even call it radiation.